Blaze, blaze, blaze. These anamorphic lenses are sick. And I don't just say that because of how great the image quality is that you get from them. I'm saying sick because when you hear how cheap they are, it's literally gonna make you sick.
Man, you corny!
Next say something while I'm talking is getting shot.
Yeah, that didn't land the way I thought it would. It sounded way better in my head. Alright, so before I get into the greatness you can get out of these super cheap lenses, really quick, for my friends who don't know what anamorphic is, I'll break it down for you, as well as tell you why you would even shoot anamorphic. So if you don't know what anamorphic is, 9 times out of 10, you're 100% of the time shooting spherical. Spherical lenses are lenses like my Sigmas or my Canons. Anamorphic, explained in the simplest way, it's a squeezed image or a different shape in a sense. So in a spherical lens, when you look at a light, it's more like a circle. Just think about it as being a different image or a different shape. So on a spherical lens, when you look at a light in the background, it's more of this circle image versus when you shoot on an anamorphic lens, it creates more of a sphere. So that's one quality that anamorphic brings to the image, but it also adds a different kind of texture, a different kind of bokeh. And when adjusting focus, you get that really beautiful lens breathing. All these things come together to give the image a more filmic or cinematic look than what you get with spherical lenses. When shot on anamorphic is when you get those black bars and beautiful lens streaks across the screen, and filmmakers try to fake this all the time by adding streaks in post and slapping black bars on top of their footage. And believe me, I'm not judging. I used to do it too once upon a time because, as you probably know, anamorphic is not cheap. But because of all the things an anamorphic lens organically adds, most people can tell when it's really from an anamorphic lens versus someone faking it in post. But again, with the price of anamorphic lenses being what it is, how can we blame anyone? We couldn't blame them until now. Anamorphics like the Blazars have completely changed the game. The price of these lenses is the first thing I have to point out. Each of these lenses come in at under $1,000, which is just mind-blowing to me. From the images I've seen from the Rokinon Anamorphics, DZO Anamorphics, etc., these lenses compete at 1/3 of the price. I think these Blazars add everything to the image that those lenses can at only $900. That's cheaper than both the Athena lenses and dual lens lenses I spoke about in my last videos, which aren't anamorphic. I just wanted to throw those out there to say, if you're trying to cover all bases when it comes to having clean character and more character / anamorphic, that could be the 3 sets for you. And like with those sets, something that these have in common is the build quality. The build quality on these is fantastic. So not only is the price great, but the build is also. Another thing I like about these lenses is that generally, when you think of an anamorphic lens, you think big, you think bulky, you think heavy. These lenses are very light and they're very compact. I think the heaviest one is sitting around 1.7 pounds. Another thing I love is not only does it come in PL mount, but it also comes in EF as well. So theoretically, you should be able to throw these on your Blackmagic or other EF style cameras. My first experience with these were on a music video set with my DP buddy Adam. He ran around on a gimbal with these lenses on his Red Gemini. And if you're thinking the gimbal was a huge like R2 or Movi, you'd be wrong. He shot it on the RS3 Pro, which is just another testament to how light these lenses are. You can balance them on either your RS3 or your Zhiyun Crane, whatever smaller frame gimbal you own. Now, I wasn't the director on the project I just mentioned, but seeing everything behind the scenes to the final product, I thought to myself, these lenses are very interesting. And since it piqued my interest and I couldn't get a real feel for them or show you why you should use them or show you what they're really made of until I got my hands on them, I decided to use them on a project and take them for a spin myself. So let's go behind the scenes with these lenses and show you the images that I was able to get. And I'll include which lenses were used with what shot. All right, let's get into it. Alright, y'all saw it. We got some amazing shots with these awesome lenses. I have to note they have a ton of character to them, and I love the flare that we were getting. Anytime before that I'd seen anamorphic shots, I've seen the flare be this blue color. But with this, it was giving off a beautiful, and I would say natural feeling amber color instead. I mentioned this to my DP, and that's when he told me that Blazar actually gives you the option to either get these in a blue flare or an amber flare, which I think is super dope. Now, these lenses do have a 1.5 squeeze factor, and they are full frame. I know you guys keep hearing me say this, but I am so ready for my Pixels to get here because I'm ready to work with great lenses like these. Let me know in the comments what you think of these lenses, what you think of the images, and also if there's a set that you think outshines these, because I would love to check those out as well as use them on my next production. Because if you've seen any of my past breakdowns, you know we pull out the best in whatever gear we're using.